All right, today is going to be a slight detour from audio-centric to lighting. So don't be afraid. If you get any on you, I think it's water soluble. So we have a Chauvet WellFit. This is the 4 LED 1.0 original flavor, as opposed to the current one, which is the WellFit X, which is something like 8 LEDs or something. So what we have here is one which will take a charge. It does light up, but no display at all. So I've got some replacement displays. These things are notorious for this. So we're going to see if we get lucky and replacing the display brings this one back. So the first thing is we've got 3mm T-handle. Okay, you could maybe do this with a long Allen key, but the reason being that you've got 4 hex head screws here, and well, it's about that deep. So that shows you how much Allen key you need. But gotta love the T-handle. And so these 4 bolts come out. There are normally supposed to be lock washers with these, and depending on how many times they've been opened, you may or may not have lock washers in yours. I try to keep them, but I definitely notice they fall out and go everywhere. All right, so loosening those up, and then boom, 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 they'll start falling out onto the mat, and they'll go over here to a magnet. And let's see if we can get the rest of them easily. The other thing is there's a mount here for light stand, whatever mount, that kind of thing. So there's a mount here, and there's 2 Phillips screws. So the Phillips screws need to come out as well to get that back piece off. The bottom just comes out, and it is connected to the controls and to the power button by wires in here that you can see. Okay, and they go down to a charging and control board, and then this covers the battery. I'm not going to replace a battery right now, but this is how you would get in there. And what is absolutely ridiculous about the battery is all the way down in the 4 corners, and you can you can't really see, but all the way down in the 4 corners of this metal keeper are 4 Phillips screws, which fortunately are magnetic, but require, like a long screwdriver to get down there. And then, of course, putting them back in and putting it back together is ridiculous. So I would not have designed it that way, but nobody asked me. All right, so to get to the screen, there's 2 Phillips screws on this control board that we will unscrew. That will release this board. And keep in mind, this battery is hooked up, it's charged, it's live. That means there's power going through this power. I think these things run on something like 30 volts. I don't know. But there's DC power going through this well-insulated on-off button, but also going through wires and going back to boards and everything. So this is less than safe right now in that there is DC power live running through things here, and things could get shorted and all that. So keep that in mind when working on this stuff, because of course you don't want to make a mistake with real power. All right, so this is the board. It has a multi-pin connector here, which is normally, let's see, I don't think I've taken this one apart, is normally thread locked together, or that's some kind of glue or something. You can take a blade and slice through that if you do need to get these boards off. And I have replaced one of these boards. I don't know if it's been this one, but here's our screen right here. And it has a bunch of pins, but literally just pops right on and off. So that's what we believe is a dead screen. And then there's two multi-pin connectors there. And it only pretty much goes on one way. But now we are going to carefully, and hopefully not short anything out or anything like that, we are going to take this new screen. Now you'll see on the silk screening on the board here, there's a notch, and the notch matches a notch that is cut out of the screen itself. So that tells you which way they go. I'm also fairly certain that these are different size and number of pins connectors, so you kind of can't get it wrong. So we're going to carefully line up the pins here. Try not to bend anything or break or do anything bad. And there we go. Okay, plugged all the way in. And just for giggles, I don't know if this would prevent it from working, but let's power. Oh, look at that. Powered up. Maybe you can see it, maybe not, but WellFit 1.4 right on the screen. Everything good. Okay, so we're going to power it down. Peel off the lovely little protector vinyl stuff. Flips over, drops down, Phillips screws go in, and Bob's your uncle. Now we're all reassembled, put back together, and push the magic button. There we go. There's our working screen, and we have light, and we can go in there, and we can go into menus and fixed color, and we can go and start changing our colors. So there we are. Our buttons are working, and our screen works. Although humorously enough, it's shifted a little bit in this window, but I'm sure you can't have everything. Yeah, but there's an old one to throw away. But we have a fully functioning light again, and that's that. So if you really liked that, I'll do a changing the battery one at some point. I have a few more dead lights, and I might need to change some batteries. And that'll be a lot more fun, and I will get to use my not safe for family 4-letter words as I'm trying to manipulate tiny little screws inside of a fixture.